Welcome to your Pilates reformer workout. We're just going to do a full body flow today. I want to freestyle a little bit. I think I want to hit a little bit of internal rotation for the hips as well as some obliques, so we'll pepper that in. We will start with 3 heavy springs and 1 light spring on my balanced body reformer. That's 3 reds and 1 blue. Headrest will be up. If you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe and also check out my membership where I offer exclusive videos, weekly workout plans, and more. So I'll see you there. To begin, lie down on your machine. Head will go on the headrest. Give yourself a little space between the shoulders and the shoulder blocks. Get comfortable, find your neutral spine so the bottom of your sacrum is heavy on the mat. Place your hands on your knees. We're just going to mobilize the hips a little bit. We're going to bring the knees in toward the chest as far as you can go without compromising the spine. Bring the knees out, forward, and back. Knees in, out, forward, back, just drawing little circles. Try to keep your ribs down without compressing too much through the upper abs. We don't want to grip. We just want to feel that sense of heaviness here, like there's a book on top of your ribs. But of course, you can still breathe. Let's reverse. We're going to bring the knees out, in and around. Just take stock of how you're feeling. My hips are pretty tight today, so maybe we'll focus on some more mobilization as well as some stabilization once we get feet and straps in particular. Good, let's place the feet on the outer corners of the foot bar, windshield wiper the knees side to side. This is just part of our warm-up before we begin moving more. As you windshield wiper, you can let your top hip fall over so you really get that stretch as that top knee goes down. One more time. And last one. Good. Bring your legs to tabletop. We're going to take hold of the shoulder blocks, or if you have pegs by your ears where the straps hang, that's ideal. You could grab those. Legs will be to tabletop. Neutral spine, ribs down. Just going to carefully bring the knees to the right. Exhale, bring them center. Inhale, knees go left. Exhale, knees go center. So your arms are going to want to dip up. Really focus on keeping the elbows wide, rib cage down. This can be quite small. We don't need to go all the way over and let the knees fall. It's actually, in my opinion, far more effective if you take a smaller movement, control it more, and really zero in on where we're localizing that work. Good. 2 more each side. And really try to keep your knees zipped together, or as much squeeze through the inner thighs as you can muster without gripping. Good. Back up to starting. Let's place the heels on the outer corners. Lift your headrest, place your headrest down. We're going to let the knees come to a pretty standard external rotation, neutral spine, arms long by your sides. Let's take a little pelvic lift and lower down. Pelvic lift and lower down. So I'm not curling the pelvis under and doing a big scoop. I'm not arching the back, letting the tailbone go down. Just keeping that same neutral spine that we found when we started. I'm trying to use my lower core, my deep core, to lift the hips up and down. So for those of you who've done this one before, or done it with me, we only want to lift the hips up or the butt up a fist distance up off the mat. We're not taking our full bridge. We're just taking little baby bridges, I like to call them sometimes. You can think about your pubic bone pointing just about forward or on a slight high diagonal. That will keep it in your neutral position, most likely. Let's take another 3, 2, try to keep the carriage still, and 1. Hips go up and down. Once again, this is all being powered by these muscles right around your hip bones, your deep core. Let's go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to your little lift, your pelvic lift or your baby bridge. Extend the legs straight. Inhale. Bring the carriage back. Hips stay just a fist above the mat. Press out. Exhale, extend. Knees stay right over your toes as you come in. Don't lift the hips too high. Or avoid it if you can. Keep an eye on it. Exhale, press. Inhale, bring it back in. Exhale, press. Inhale, bring it back in. Do your best, excuse me, do your best to fully extend the knees without locking them. Sometimes people have a tendency to kind of get almost all the way there, myself included. Let's see if you can find that full extension at the top without popping into your joints or hyperextending. Let's go for 2 more. Last one, bring it just halfway in, still hovered that tiny bit. Now we pulse the carriage back and forth. We've got 10, 9, probably getting a little bit more inner thighs for this one. 5 more. Gonna maybe feel more glutes. 2 and 1. Good. Bring it all the way in. Lower the hips. Quick windshield wiper of the knees. Side to side. Good. And we will move on to a quick little bit of footwork with some rotation. So feet will start in external rotation. We're going to begin pressing out and pressing in now with the hips. Lower down. Probably a bit easier than the last one we did, but then we will begin switching things up a little bit. Just getting our bearings. Make sure your ribs are staying down. Let's take 4, 3, final 2, and 1. All the way in. Internally rotate, knees point towards each other, heels point away. We're going to extend the legs long, separate the knees at the top, keep the knees pointed inward until you bring the carriage to a close. Extend, feel that wrapping through the upper hips. The upper hips, wrapping through the hips at the top of the thigh. Good. Let's go for, careful. Let's go for 4. You may have heard me give my soliloquy on this already, but I really like working internal rotation because it can be neglected sometimes, and it is helpful for your pelvic floor, your hip health, among other things, to work both internal and external. Okay, now we're going to take hip circles. And you know what? I forgot to put up my headrest, so I'm going to do that now. Knees start in this position. We're going to press away. Knees come out. Bend the knees in external rotation. Bring the knees together. So we're just drawing circles inward with our knees. So as we press out, the knees turn outward. As we bring the carriage in, the knees turn inward. Check in with your spine. Make sure you're not flattening out your low back. Make sure your ribs aren't popping up to the ceiling. Good. Next time you come in, stay in the external rotation. We're going to press out. Turn to internal rotation. Bring it in now. Circles go out. So we press out, we circle out. Exhaling as we push away. Give yourself a moment just to see if you're holding tension anywhere other than your core and your legs right now. Common places are your forehead and your mouth. You may be muscling through this one. Just try to give more space between your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Let your upper traps release as well. Whew, nice job. Bring it in. Let's windshield wiper the knees side to side. This seems to be a good one for just loosening up the hips a little bit more. Good. We'll do a little bit of quick stuff for calves while we're here. So we will do balls of the feet or toes on the foot bar. We'll keep hips down for now. Deep breath in, exhale, press out, lower the heels, 1, 2, 3. Lift the heels, 1, 2, 3. Bend the knees, bring it home. Exhale, press out, lower the heels, 1, 2, 3. Lift the heels, 1, 2, 3, and bring it in. Let's keep going. I have to tell you a little story. I felt really vindicated yesterday. There was some ballet account on Instagram that posted a poster or reel or something about how ballerinas and ballet students who practice releve, which is when you lift your heels, you go either onto the ball of your feet or your toes when you wear point shoes, about how they should be really careful when they practice a lot of releves at the end of the bar section, because it can actually really wear down the joints if you're not really careful to take a slow lift and a slow lower, which if you've done classes with me before, you know I'm probably literally obsessed with. I think it's so important, maybe that's where I picked up this obsession, but I think it's so important to control on the way down, control on the way up. Either, if you do it the other way, you're really just kind of going up and down for movement's sake without really doing a whole lot. But yes, I agree, it does put wear and tear on your joints. I certainly feel it. I really only want to do one more. My left calf is starting to talk to me. Let's take a little calf stretch. You're going to extend your left leg, push your left heel under the foot bar. Take a big breath. See if you have any other tense spots in your face or in your upper body. Deep breathe, or deeper breath. Breathe deeper, there we go. Hook your right foot under the foot bar, your right toes. Give a little bit of a pull forward to deepen the stretch. Right foot on the foot bar. Extend both legs. Now we switch sides. Straighten out the right leg. Bend the left knee. Ball of the foot on the left side is on the foot bar. Same thing. See if you're getting into any familiar grip or tension patterns other than that right calf. When you're ready, hook your left foot under the foot bar. Toes pull you forward, deepen the stretch. If you're not aware, tight calves can sometimes mirror a tight pelvic floor, so pay attention to that. Left foot on the foot bar, straighten out the legs, bend the knees, bring it in. Let's take a little calf massage. Let's really take care of ourselves today. So place your legs over the foot bar, give yourself some space between your knees. We're gonna rock the calf side to side. And play around with where on your calf you want to place the bar or vice versa. Any place that's really crunchy or you feel like there's a big lump and bump is probably an area worth paying attention to. You can also go front to back here. I personally, on this machine at least, prefer to go side to side. So just take a moment, give yourself a treat. I do recommend doing one side at a time, otherwise you're kind of not able to stabilize so well. Good. Let's go for the other leg if you haven't already. And just breathe here. Once again, pay attention to everything that's happening up here. You don't have to focus on it nonstop, but try to bring your awareness to what's going on with any tension in your face, neck, or upper traps. Which side was worse for you guys? I'm curious. My right side is a little gnarly today, even though I've got some other body pain on my left side, so that's interesting. I don't know. It's a mystery. When you're ready, we're going to sit on up, switch to one heavy spring and one light spring for hands and straps. When you're ready, just double check that your headrest is up. We're going to lie down and get into it. So coming to lie down, we're going to place one strap in each hand. Once those straps are in your hand, you can extend the arms right up over your shoulders. Legs will come to tabletop. Now, before I lift up my legs, make sure your hands aren't way back here. This just puts so much stress on your shoulders. We really want the fingertips right up over the shoulders or even slightly forward. I would prefer them behind the body. Once that's really stable, neutral spine, ribs down, one leg comes up at a time, tabletop. Find your knees right over your hips, shins parallel to the ceiling. If you lift your heels, that's going to take some pressure off of the core. Only do that if you want less resistance. Shoulders plug down into the mat. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, if you can't hear it in my breath, I'm shaking, and 1. Extend the right leg forward and in. Left leg and in. Really reach through the fingertips. Feel opposition from your middle finger, almost trying to reach through the ceiling down to your shoulder blades, pressing down into the mat. Now, if this extension is a little not challenging enough, good for you, first of all. You can extend the legs a little bit lower if you like. One more each side. Inhale. Actually, I like that better. Exhaling as the legs come in. Good. We're going to inhale, both legs out to 45. Exhale. Bring both knees into your right shoulder. Inhale, extend center. Exhale, both knees come to the left shoulder. Inhale, twisting. As the knees come in, center every time the legs go out. So take the legs as low as you would like to, as long as you don't start dumping the pelvis forward and arching through the back. One more each side. And other side. Good. Bend the knees to tabletop. Close the stopper for a second. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. We're going to reset in a moment. Legs will come up to tabletop, arms will come up over the shoulders. We're going to reach all the way up to the ceiling. A little space between your shoulders and the shoulder blocks. Take care to make sure your fingers aren't behind your shoulders. Find your tabletop. Nice parallel line to the ceiling. While we're here, we're going to take only the right leg. Take it out to the side. So both the knee and the ankle go to the right side. Left leg. Knee and ankle go out to the side. So it's not like a clam where you keep the toes or the heels together while the knees go to the side. The foot also has to travel with the rest of the leg. I don't know about you, I find this one very challenging, especially while the hands are straight up here. Make sure that your shoulders aren't shrugging up. Plug the shoulders down into the mat while you reach up with the fingertips. Just one more each side. Exhale, you bring it center. Inhale. Good. Close the stopper. Oh my God, I'm definitely sweating after that. Let's just cross the left knee or the right, I can't even talk anymore. The left ankle over the right knee. Just take a little figure 4 stretch. With your right foot on the bar, you could even sort of wiggle the leg side to side or nod the leg side to side. Let's take the other one. Right ankle over left knee. There we go, I got it that time. A little figure 4 stretch. You can be pushed away a little bit if you need to be, but I'm basically just a little bit away from the stopper. All right, let's do something else. Reach the arms up over your shoulders. Legs will come to tabletop. Once again, this time we're going to press the legs out. Arms go up right out in front of you. Bring it back to tabletop. That's your starting position. You can curl up with the head, neck, and chest if you like. And that was sloppy. If you curl up with the head, neck, and chest, you almost feel like your head starts peeling up a millisecond before the hands or legs press down. Sometimes I see people starting this motion and then working really hard to lift the head after. What happens when you do that is your SCMs, the muscles kind of along the front sides of your neck, have to pick up everything, as opposed to the muscles in your upper back and the back of your neck really doing their share of the work. So I nod the chin right away. Good. Last one. Shh. Back to tabletop. Resituate yourself if you need to. Press the palms down to the mat. Anchor the elbows, bend and extend for tricep extensions. Let's go for 10. Make sure your collarbone is staying nice and wide, shoulders back. Still breathing. About 5 more. Last 4. 3, control the springs on the way back. 2, and 1. Good, fingertips up and out to the side. Elbows still into the waist, hands out at a 45-degree angle. Press the palms in toward your hips, back out on the diagonal. Press in, back out to the W shape. We've got 8, 7, so try to avoid using too much power, as much control as possible. 5, last 4, 3, final 2, and 1. Now let's try something new. I'm going to keep that neutral spine, elbows in toward my sides, hands out in the W. I'm going to reach the arms out wider than my shoulders. Bring the elbows back down to the mat, trying to keep my spine really neutral. Extend up, wide, elbows back in toward the body. Out wide, elbows back in. That's a unique kind of burn, I think. So we're trying to keep the carriage still, really controlled. Let's go for 4 more. 3, final 2. Check in with your face muscles. And 1, I'm saying that because my brow is scrunched. Close the stopper. feet as wide as your foot bar. Rock your knees side to side. All right, let's continue on. We're gonna go for feet and straps, still on that one heavy, one light. Press out against the foot bar. Right foot goes into the right strap, left foot goes into the left strap, legs up to the ceiling, a little bit of space between your shoulders and the shoulder blocks, and make sure that the bottom of your sacrum is heavy down on the mat while your toes are pointed up. If your butt is starting to lift up or curl under, if you can place a hand under your butt, your hips are too high. Think about your tailbone weighting down and hinge at the hips to bring your legs up as tall as they can be without that happening. Man, I really felt like I was going to take it easy. I'm not taking it easy on myself or you. Lower and lift for 5 just to get warmed up. Toes point forward, hinge at the hips, toes come up. So really make sure your legs are in parallel. So your knees are facing your nose. Press out. Now, if your 90 degrees is somewhere here rather than here, that's preferable than compromising the spinal alignment. You can experiment with taking the legs as low as you like. One thing I recommend is not to shoot for that last mile unless you're really, really sure that you're not going to dump the pelvis forward or arch the back here. Oftentimes I'll see this start to happen. You need that control, that sort of cinching in of your ribs down to your pelvis to make all the way down there work. I just did more than 5, I'm sorry. Let's go for Pilates V. Heels together, toes apart. Separate the feet as wide as your machine. Draw a V shape. Lower the legs. Bring the heels together at the bottom. Inhale, separate the feet as you bring the legs back up. Lower down, heels meet. Raise up, heels separate. So it's just like you're drawing diagonal lines with your feet. We're not making circles. The feet are coming inward as we make the heels meet together and separate as we come up. 3. Last 2. Relaxing everything that should not be working. And 1. Good. Bring the legs back up. Now we switch to internal rotation. Toes turn towards each other, heels apart, wrapping through that upper hip. Now we draw an A shape or a triangle. Lower down, draw the diagonal line, feet separate at the bottom. Toes lead the way as we come in. Press the feet out and away. Separate the feet at the bottom and back. So it's a diagonal line out and down and up and in. Good. 3 more. Last 2. And 1. Good. Bring the feet together, butterfly stretch, soles of the feet down toward the mat or into the well. Feel your ribs be heavy down to the mat. Extend the right leg out to the side. Put a little bit of extra pressure in that left foot. If it's on the mat, if you need a little deepening of the stretch, pull in that right foot via pulling the rope and switch sides. Bring your right foot back to center. Feet come down, left leg extends out to the side. Anchor yourself with that right foot if you would like to. Pull that left rope, flex the foot, give yourself a little deeper stretch on the left side. Feet come back together, legs extend up to the ceiling, very parallel. Now, heels go right over your hips. We want to flex the feet at the ankles. So it's not just about the toes reaching forward. We really want to find that big crease as best as you can right where your ankles hit. We're going to pull the ropes down toward our rib cage. Feel your ribs sink down as well. Feel the bottom of your sacrum heavy on the mat without arching. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend one leg, extend the other. Stretch. Bend one leg, extend the other. Stretch. Good. Let's alternate sides. Good. Before we move on, reach back, put your headrest to the downward position. We're going to bring our feet to Pilates V, lower down, and we're going to find a diamond position. So diamond is sort of like a frog, or it is pretty much like a frog. We've got heels together, knees apart, probably about as wide as our machines. We're going to start just tapping the toes out and down. Inhale, bring them back up. Your knees can come toward your rib cage a little bit. Speaking of freestyling, I was freestyling on this one the other day and I kind of like it. So this is sort of the warm up a little bit. So we're going to feel inner thighs here. So knees stay out, turned out and away from each other. Toes and heels stay together. We're trying to keep the knees bent at about the same angle the whole time. A little bit of core, probably not terribly challenging, but certainly a fair amount of inner thighs while we're here. So I'm going to take a couple more, and then we'll start to add on to this. You can feel the glutes as the feet press down too. Good. Feet come back up. Give yourself a little space between the shoulders and the shoulder blocks if you need to. Now I'm going to press the toes down. As I bring it up, I'm going to lift my hips, bring my toes to the ceiling. Use your abs to get up. Lower down. Lift your hips up. It doesn't have to be crazy high. We're not going for like a short spine type of lift. It's more of a peel your low back up off the mat. So we're engaging the core. So there's almost like a folding or creasing that happens right over your hip bones. It's the same sensation we want as when we go for that first curl under of the tailbone when we do an articulated bridge. And the carriage, or rather the springs, probably just want to shoot you back. That's not going to do a whole lot for you. Really want to find that big scoop of the pelvis, like you're folding a book in half. And that crease happens right over your hip bones. I want to take a few more. This one feels pretty nice to my body right now. Let me know in the comments if you like this one. I know I'm being a little esoteric. I'm curious what you think. Let's do two more. And last one. Good, I had fun. Close the carriage. Let's take the straps off of the feet, place them down wherever you need to. Rock your knees side to side. That feels nice. Let's turn over. We're going to move on in a sec. So let's go for some reverse knee stretches. I will switch to one heavy spring. That's one red on my balanced body machine. You could be on a light if you prefer. We're going to turn to face the poles, knees against the shoulder blocks, hips over your knees. We don't want to be all the way back here or leaning too far forward. Walk your hands out further than you think you need to. So past your shoulders, that's important. We're going to press up through the palms. Make sure your thumbs are on the outside of the frame with the rest of your fingers. Think about rounding your spine to start. So we're going to keep this really scooped back. And if I'm sounding super loud on the microphone, I'm sorry. Big rounded spine. You're going to pull forward using your core and your arms and your back. Mostly your abs and your back. Good. Let's try again. Deep breath in. Exhale, press forward. Big scoop. Pull forward, hold. And release. To a heavy spring. I don't know if today's a heavy spring day, but we're going to do it. Good. Now we're going to find neutral spine. So instead of this big scooped position, we're going to send the tailbone to the back wall without arching. We're going to bring the rib cage down toward the pelvis. Deep breath in. Feel your core engage. We're going to exhale, pull forward. Don't let your knees be way back here. Keep them under your hips. And back. Good. Let's try again. Keep that pressure up through the palms. Deep breath in. Exhale right before you bring it forward. Hold. And bring it in. To avoid hyperextending your arms, try to keep that inner part of your elbows facing each other. Deep breath in. Core comes on. We pull forward and hold. Keep that pressure through your palms. Whoops. Let's go two more. Big breath in. Pull forward, hold. And back. One last time. Deep breath in. Pull forward, hold. Good. Now we're gonna close the carriage. You can roll out your wrists if you need to. Next time we go out, I'm gonna walk my hands maybe a little tiny bit further. We're gonna go for our actual reverse knee stretches. We're gonna try to keep our hips over our knees to start. Big breath in. Once we pull forward, then that's the point at which we pulse the knees forward and back using your lower abdominals. This is a hard one to talk and do at the same time. Let's take 6 more. 4 more. Last one. Good. Close the stopper. Take a quick child's pose. Hips down to your heels. Arms reach long on the frame. Take a big breath in. Try to feel the air fill your lungs in every direction. Let's try for one more set. Wipe the sweat off your hands. Let's do it. Hands go back out. If that last one was too intense, walk your hands a little closer to your body or walk them further out if you need more resistance. We're going to push up through the palms. Find length through your lumbar spine. Big breath in, exhale, pull forward. Knees pulse in and out. Let's go for 6. 5. 4. We want the shoulders just about over the wrists. Last 2. And 1. Very nice job. Close the stopper. Hips to your heels. Walk the fingertips a little further forward so we're really getting a full stretch through your back. Work around the headrest as best as you can, or the shoulder blocks as best you can. Place your right hand on your left hand. Reach forward a little more, press down in your right hip, let your abdomen relax and release. Do a lot of core work, but it needs to relax too. Left hand on top of your right hand, push back on your left hip as you walk your hands forward. I'm still shaking a little. That's pretty wild. Good. Left hand back on the left frame. Roll up to sitting. Let's take a little quick mermaid before we move on. We'll stay on that one red spring, or you can add a blue spring to it if you like, which I will do. So it's one heavy, one light, or one heavy. I'm going to do this one in a Z sit today. So right leg is bent with the shin against the shoulder blocks. Left leg is bent with the shin parallel to the front of the mat. You could be in a cross-legged position if this doesn't work for you. Left hand is on the foot bar. Start sitting up nice and tall, lifting out of your seat. We're going to press away on the left hand, reach the right arm up and over. Keep that right hip pressed down so you get that big oppositional stretch here. Palm is facing the floor. Reach up and over. Stack the spine nice and tall. Reach up and over. Right hip is heavy. I'm screwing up my left and right today. Good. Once more. Reach up and over, take your time. Right hip is nice and heavy. Feel that reach, pulling in each direction, opposite directions. Arms up. Let's go for the other side. Turning to the opposite side, left leg goes right up against the shoulder blocks. Right shin parallel to the back wall now. Try to see if you can bring your left hip as down as it can be in this position. Right hand on the bar, left arm by your side. Bring your ribs down, big breath in. Push away from the foot bar. Feel that left hip reach down as your left hand reaches slightly up. Good. Keep that right shoulder low as you bring it back in. Good. Almost close the stopper or close it. Big breath in. Exhale. Lots of pressure in that right hand. Big oppositional reach. Oh, that's a nice side body stretch there. Good. One more. Left arm reaches up and over. Lots of pressure in the right hand. Make sure that left palm is facing down. Right shoulder is away from your ear. Good. Roll up to sitting. We'll close the stopper and you are all done. Thank you so much for joining me for this freestyle workout. If you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and check out my channel membership to get weekly workout plans, exclusive videos, and tons more. Thank you so much to my membership subscribers. I so appreciate you all being here and supporting the work that I'm doing to allow all this free content to be accessible to all. And extra special thanks to my members who have been with me for 6 months or more. Huge thanks to you. I'll see y'all next time.